You think okay, yeah, we'll just do it anyway.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to P4FX News and Discussion Podcast. This is your host, Loxus, and my co-host,
GT4, how's it going?
How you doing, guys? Welcome to episode 53 of the podcast. We were just discussing why we're possibly so tired right before the podcast. And DT4 was discussing about how it may be due to his new workout regimen, and I was gonna state that it's highly possible that could be the case because I noticed that typically whenever I start working out again, it takes a while for my body to get used to I guess the amount of pressure and endurance or whatever, all that stuff I'm putting into it. Basically I'm putting a lot of muscles to work that I usually don't put to work. So it needs time to break down and regenerate. And I think during that time period is requiring more of you basically to do. But I think that eating properly during that time and getting proper rest could help alleviate or help with some of that. Make sure you get the right potassium and things like that. I'm not like a health expert or nothing, but I know that I used to work out actively maybe like a couple years ago. And during that time, I had to go through the, building and breaking down of my muscles and stuff like that. And I used to eat a lot of bananas during that time and just make sure I got good enough protein and stuff like that. Hey, everybody in the chat, welcome. If you're here in the live portion of this podcast, welcome. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that though, DT4.
Okay. Yeah. It's that it's funny that you say getting proper rest. I wonder if that is definitely the body's way of saying no, you're gonna stay in bed and you're gonna like it kind of thing.
Pretty much. I notice I sleep better too whenever I actively work out because I think my body just bro, I'm trying to chill, man. Lay down. I'm trying to get myself together here. So.
I mean, the other end of the irony is that because I'm trying to get more fit and working out more, that means I'm sweating more, which means I need to drink water more. And guess what happens more when you're drinking more water?
You turn into a cactus?
Yeah, that too. But you also make a lot of trips to the Ano Basho end, the place.
The place of wonder.
Yeah. So when you're when you're trying to sleep through the night and trying to get that proper rest, you find yourself waking up at least multiple times because you drink so much goddamn water. Yeah.
But guys, the topic for today is going to be basically video game backlogs because god dang do I have a lot of them. But it's not a whole lot, but I do have a bunch of games on my list. DT4's games on his list as well. Like I said, once again, if you're tuning in live from Twitch, I appreciate you. If you're watching this on any other form or platform, likely on YouTube or something, then, be sure to follow me over at Twitch at Loxus_TV so you can catch us live as well. Because I wouldn't mind hearing some of your stuff. Anything you want to contribute and any backlogs you guys may have. I will also be streaming tonight on YouTube. I'm gonna be streaming some Fall Guys or Mario Maker or something. So for those of you guys that watch me on YouTube, you'll see me over there. All right, so I got all that out the way because I usually talk about most of that stuff towards the end of the podcast, but I'll go ahead and talk about that stuff now. So, I guess before we begin with the backlogs, I guess we can discuss. Well, I guess speaking of the backlog, actually, I guess I can count this as a game on my backlog, even though I'm actively playing it. I guess it'd be like Monster Hunter, I suppose, because a lot of my friends that are actively playing the game are already at least rank 6 or 7. I'm still ranked 3.5 or something because it's hard for me to stick to a game like that and play it all the time like a lot of my other friends do. Not that that's a problem. I don't see anything wrong. If you want to play your video games as much as you want to, go for it. You know what I mean? But for me, I can't play just one game all the time like that. And especially as a streamer, I want to be careful of that because I don't mind building an audience around Monster Hunter, but I don't want people coming in and expecting me to play Monster Hunter all the time. You know what I mean? I don't want to push the wrong narrative with that. So it's a lot of that and then me just playing other games in general. So that is a game that I guess I can count as in my backlog because I haven't actually beaten that game yet. So that's probably my first one. But I've been enjoying, this is I guess my second week playing Monster Hunter and I've still enjoyed it. I've gotten to the point now where I'm actually able to do up to 4-hour sessions of that game now, which is kind of crazy. me and Sonic Master, well, first me and June played for almost 5 hours. I didn't even notice. Cause we were just talking and playing the game, and before I knew it, we had grinded for like 5 hours. And then Sonic Master, me and him was playing this weekend, and before we knew it, it was like 4 hours, going on 5 hours. I was like, holy crap, we gotta get off this game. But a lot of times now I find myself having to put the game down, like have to forcing myself to stop, more so than me just being like I'm bored. So that's a pretty good thing actually.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. No. I was gonna say, it feels like once you get your flow, as somebody new to the series, once you get your flow with the game and you kind of understand kind of how the game works and kind of have like, I guess, like some goals. Like, I want to make this gear. I want to make this sword. When you start getting like a flow of those things and kind of understand stuff, it gets a lot better. I'll say, like, especially if the game feels overwhelming or something for people. But go ahead.
Yeah, that like I've always been saying for like the past couple weeks now that like it is helpful that this game is probably more accessible than it's ever been. And that's definitely not a bad thing. Like the fact that there's so much verticality, that there's an actual proper tutorial. Like I think last week, like after reaching the credits, I found out there was like a training area where if you go to that training area, you could actually like practice on like this mechanical monster, and like the move list shows up on screen.
Right.
That lets you know what buttons to press. And like, again, that's some of the stuff you did not have in the older Monster Hunter games. So like you had to pause the menu. You had to hit that pause menu, go through that weird transparent list. Then I think like Hunter's Notes and then move list or something to find out the moves that you had. So
I actually remember that from the Monster Hunter World tutorial. I think I remember seeing that actually.
I think, although one advantage with Monster Hunter World is that at the top right of the screen, they let you know what all the contextual inputs were at the time. So that like, I think that went a long ways to help people like figure out what they could do at the time that they could. They seem to have removed that in this game, but I guess if you're coming from World, like you know a lot more of what you can do or need to do. But yeah, like I guess continuing the story as far as like week 2 of this amazing game and stuff. Yeah, I think I've been calculated to put in like 48 hours so far, and I'm at rank 5 so far. But that's because like I took my time through the village quests. Well, I 100% all the village quests, save for I think the rampage missions. And then now I'm on the hub quests, which I didn't realize like the hub quests actually do continue the storyline, which I think you and I forget who sent Mitch last week also warned me.
Right.
That there's like the village quests are kind of like beating the main campaign of Pokemon, and then like let's say the hub quests are like kind of completing the DLC or like the special editions of Pokemon. And then apparently there's going to be like a 3rd update later in the year which has like a 3rd ending apparently. So they're really going all out with like the full story. So while I technically beat this game, I only completed the village hub. But conveniently, because I did all those missions, like I was able to gather like all these materials to create like all these cool weapons and gear, which has made like these higher missions a little bit easier. So I didn't have to grind as much because I was already doing the grinding, at the very front of things.
Right.
But the last thing that I learned, at least, is that apparently you're not supposed to catch every monster. That you do get certain gear. You get certain parts when you slay them versus when you catch them. So depending on what you're looking for, you probably shouldn't be catching them every single time.
I usually slay monsters if I need to like get materials usually. I think I'm more of an advocate of like slaying them than capturing them. Like I'll capture them, but I think I'm more on the leaning towards the side of killing them for me, especially if I'm trying to grind gear. There are some times when you'll get the gear you want when you just complete the quest or possibly capturing them, like you get like rare materials. But especially for me, if I'm really trying to like get like, I guess like a certain quantity of gear, then I'll usually just go ahead and cut them open, and just so I can get more opportunities to get what I need to get. So yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, so I think that's like the only real thing that I learned recently. Apparently there are some missions that require you to use specific weapons. So like it kind of like forces you to like figure, oh, is this something you might actually like? and either the answer will be yes or no, but because you have to do the mission, you'll get a reward anyway. And then if you didn't like, yeah, you won't have to use that weapon ever again, supposedly. So it's cool that like they kind of push you in the direction to see like, oh, will you like the hunting horn? Will you like the light bow gun, the heavy bow gun, the heavy machine gun, and so on.
I was literally thinking of that too. But yeah, man, Monster Hunter World, guys. We had a whole discussion about it last week, so check that video out if you want to, I guess, hear my first reaction to the game and our entire overall, I guess, opinion on it. Sorry, my brain's kind of weird. I'm like booting up basically, but yeah. So check that other video out if you want like a full synopsis of what we thought of the game. This was more or less kind of what we figured out over the rest of the time of us playing it. I'll be continuing to stream that game, if you guys are interested in that.
Yeah, it's literally hundreds of hours of content, so it's free.
So what was the game on, what's another game on your backlog? Or did Monster Hunter count as your first one?
I wouldn't really count it as my backlog since it's pretty much the only game I've been playing outside of occasionally loading up Smash Brothers.
Okay.
But oddly enough, I did make a list, a 2021 list of an entire backlog of games I wanted to complete.
That's convenient.
Well, yeah, that was the plan already from like the very beginning of the year. But, you know, because it was just for me and I'm not really streaming, you know, I didn't really have anyone to really tell. But out of all the games I've completed so far, I kind of added Super Mario 3D World, Bowser's Fury. Like any new games that I complete along the way, I add to the list. But Bloodborne was a game I wanted to return back to and beat, so I did that. Dark Souls 3 was another game I wanted to return to and beat. So those were actually impressive that I actually completed those, or beat those at least.
Right.
But the next one of the games on the list I want to beat is Pikmin 3.
I think I remember you talking about that game before.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Pikmin fan, but like I respect the series, and I bought the Wii U version, didn't get too far, and then of course when the Switch Deluxe version came out, I bought that, and you know, because I've already bought this game twice, the determination is like, man, I'm going to beat this game, I hope. So that's the plan at least. I just want to see the credits. If I really enjoy the game and want to play more, I will. But right now, it's just to see the credits.
See the credits. Yeah, I respect people that play Pikmin. I feel like in an alternate world, if I had gotten Luigi's Mansion that Christmas, on my GameCube and got Pikmin, I feel like Pikmin may have been a game I would have liked because I did have that game on my Christmas list. It was like Smash, Luigi's Mansion, Pikmin 1, and I got Smash and Luigi's Mansion. So I ended up actually not playing Luigi's Mansion that much as a kid, because the game kind of scared me. And it was just like a weird departure from the traditional Mario. I went back and played it later, but at that time, I feel like Pikmin may have been a better suited game for me during that time. But yeah, so I understand that, and I get why people like the series too. Pikmin's very interesting. You in the chat always talks about it all the time too. Oh yeah, on the side note, I see that Milk Tea put here, I still need to complete Birth by Sleep. Yeah, I got some Kingdom Hearts games on my, kind of on my backlog. I guess that I'll make that my next game I talk about. Tendo put, this is therapeutic. I appreciate that. I'm glad. Like I said, we got very, very chill vibes today, for sure. But at any rate, I guess my next backlog game would be Kingdom Hearts 3, I suppose. Well, okay, so some of my backlog games are games that I may have already beaten, but I just want to like go back and beat again, sort of. So like, cause it's been a long time. So I want to get the Kingdom Hearts collection and I want to play through them again, cause it's been over 5 years since I played any of the classic Kingdom Hearts games. So I want to go back and get them on PC and play them. I did purchase Kingdom Hearts 3. I did test out playing the game at max settings. My computer is able to handle it at a cost. If I try to play the game at max and I try to play the game on at max settings and I also try to stream it, my GPU heat goes up to 81 degrees, which is extremely hot for a computer. You typically want to have your computer at about maybe 60 or 70 something at the highest with some heavy load on it. 80 may not be bad, but I wouldn't, but that was without me actually getting in like horde battles and trying to process things that was at the beginning of the game. So that's worrisome. And I didn't have a lot of stuff open either. So I don't want to have to push my computer that much if I don't have to. So I'm gonna try playing the game on high and seeing how that goes. Cause like I said, I was able to process the game just fine and play it and everything at full 120 hertz. Or I'm sorry, 120 frame rate or whatever. Yeah. So that was really cool. But yeah, I'm not gonna try to kill my computer just to try to play that game like at max setting. It's not necessary. So Milty in the chat to play Kingdom Hearts 1. I do plan to play Kingdom Hearts 1, but I'm not gonna do it on proud mode. I already beat that game on proud mode. I paid my dues, and I haven't played that game since then. So that should tell you how fun proud mode is on Kingdom Hearts 1. They didn't have a critical mode back then, so proud mode is basically Kingdom Hearts 1's critical mode. So I may play, if I'm gonna play through Kingdom Hearts 1, I'm gonna play through it on whatever the regular difficulty. I'm not doing that to myself, because I'm gonna have to do a lot of grinding. I'm gonna be beating that game, because I really don't want to play that game, but I'll go back and play. I beat that game one time, and that was on proud mode as a kid, and well, not as a kid, but I was very young when I beat that game. I think I was like 15 or 16 or something. I never wanted to look back at that game as I played Kingdom Hearts.
Wait, when did so I might have missed it. Kingdom Hearts 3 already came out on PC?
Yeah, it came out last week. All the games came out, and they were on a discount actually up until today. So you could actually have gotten Kingdom Hearts 3 with the DLC and everything else for like $40 or something. And then you could get the other collection for like $40 too.
Okay. I mean, yeah, PC is like probably the ultimate place to have it, just so you don't have to repurchase it on the consoles. I'm still waiting for whenever they put the Switch version up because I want it portably. But PC is the next best option, legitimately.
Yeah, Brad.
Yeah.
So what's your next game?
Oh God, let me check that list. It's a long list. Let's see. So, man, there are a few games. I know we were talking about. Actually, Wonderful 101. That's a game I want to beat as well. Also bought on the Wii U. Also bought on the Switch. I actually helped back the Kickstarter. And so did millions of other people. So not like it's that special. But yeah, it's. I think the thing about the game is that as cool and exciting as it is, some of the missions can take probably as long as a Monster Hunter mission, especially if you don't know what you're doing. But that's how a lot of Platinum games are. It's like, oh, you kind of skate by the skin of your teeth the first time around, and then now that you know what to do, like try it again and get that S rank or A rank or whatever, or this Platinum medal. That's what it usually is: Platinum medal, Platinum trophy, because Platinum Games made it. So I always hear good things about that game. I agree, it's a really good game. It's just you also have to be into it. It's like a more actiony Pikmin, ironically enough, because you're in control of like up to 100 or I think even more different characters, because you have these heroes, but then you have these citizens, and the more people that you have playing hero, the more powerful your moves are. So like you have like a special whip move that becomes longer. You have a special fist that becomes bigger. A gun that shoots people out of the gun. Because context makes a lot more sense. But yeah, it's an amazing game, and Platinum always does good work. Whether or not you like the play style, like it's always an exciting, fun time. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to that. But any thoughts on that before I continue down? What is it? Until I segue into another Platinum game.
Oh, you're gonna do two? Yeah, that's fine.
All right, but any thoughts on Wonderful 101 first?
Yeah, Wonderful 101 is cool. I remember watching you play it, and I remember playing yours too, and it was a pretty cool game. I think I might end up trying that game again myself, but I've heard negative things about the Switch port, but I heard it was polarizing. So as far as like what people's thoughts on the Switch port was, but overall, I think that game is pretty cool too.
Yeah, I hear some of the same things where like because it was originally designed for two screens, and then like the port only works on one screen, you kind of have like that. You have the second screen kind of obscuring the main screen that you're playing on. So if you can, it's sometimes recommended to play on the Wii U. But if you can't, it's still not a bad game to play elsewhere. But outside of Wonderful 101, the other platinum game I want to beat is called. It was that police game they had the other year.
Astro Chain.
Yeah, Astro Chain. That one, man. So many platinum games can be a little bit polarizing in and of itself because of the controls they decide to do. So like with that game, like you're controlling. It's like The World Ends With You a little bit, where you're controlling the main character, but then you also control your stand essentially with like the right stick along with another set of buttons. And like you have to perform these combos, but they're not just simple inputs. You have to like make sure they're in the right position and everything else. But again, like standard platinum fashion, it's exciting to see. It's pretty cool to play. There's a lot of depth to it, and like the better you get at it, the more exciting the gameplay itself is. So that's another game on the list I want to play. Have you considered touching it at any time?
Not exactly. I need to get in and play some more platinum games and more beat 'em up games, I guess. They seem pretty cool, but Astro Chain just didn't appeal enough to me. I guess for me, it looked cool when the trailer started, but I guess it's just like, I don't know. I gotta like don't have those type of games in high priority for me. But eventually I do want to try it. They do look fun.
That's fine. I think it is definitely a game you need to be in the mood for. I will say that.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, some asked in the chat. I'm definitely gonna play Kingdom Hearts 1. I'm just not gonna play it on proud mode. But I was gonna say that what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was gonna say that. So the next game on my list, I was finally able to beat Battle Network 5. It wasn't that I was stuck. I just kept throwing it behind because there were so many other games coming out and so many other things to do. But I finally beat Battle Network 5, and it was really tough. The game as an adult was not really that hard to get through, honestly. There was some puzzles that was like, what the hell, as far as just trying to figure things out. But I was able to figure it out. The last boss was really hard, but I managed to beat it. So now I'm going to take a huge break from Battle Network, because I just went from 1, 2, 3, 4, and it took a break in 5, basically. So I'm going to take a long break before I get to Battle Network 6. Hopefully by that time, that's the next game on my list, is Battle Network 6. And hopefully by that time, we'll have an announcement for, the collection, and I can just play Battle Network 6 on the collection and beat Battle Network 4 as well, because both those games I need to beat. But I guess I'll do another one too. I do want to play. I do want to beat Mario Luigi Superstar Saga. I never actually beat that game when I was younger, and I was doing a playthrough of it on stream for a while. And then I kind of stopped because I think I started playing Battle Network or something happened and I stopped. But I'm towards the end of the game, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean that game up. And then I'm going to play Mario RPG. So for the first time, 'cause I never played that game. So that's the next game on my list. I feel like as a 90s kid and as a quote unquote boomer gamer, me not having that game underneath my belt is a crime. So I'm going to go ahead and play Mario RPG.
I think you'll have a good time. It's not as hard as I used to think it was, but it does require a little bit more grinding. And the other caveat you're going to run into is that you won't have as clear of an animation tell as you do with the Mario and Luigi games. Mm-hmm. But Mario and Luigi and Paper Mario were both inspired by the Mario RPG game. So like, if you already know how that works, you won't have that much of a trouble. But like, what's the word that they would call it? Not the feedback. I guess it would be the feedback, as far as like knowing this is the time to press this button isn't as strong. But as long as you know that, like, I think you're going to be in for a pretty good time. You'll get to see what all the hype is behind Gino. You get to see why everyone hates Malo. He's not that bad. And it's the first game outside of Super Mario Bros. 2 where Peach is playable in like a fighting position.
Bowser 2.
Yeah, Bowser 2. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's Bowser's first time for sure.
Yeah, I actually saw a couple playthroughs of that game. I just recently watched a streamer called Zuko play through the game. I didn't watch like every single like thing of it because I did want to play it eventually myself, but I saw enough to kind of get a general sense of how the game works. And yeah, you're right about the whole tell thing, how like, on Mario Luigi or Paper Mario, you get enough time to watch them literally come over. Well, Paper Mario is a lot slower. Well, though, you'll literally watch them walk up to you and then do the move. But you know, Mario Luigi is a little more faster. But I'll say that you know, I can tell that in that game it's a little different, but I think I should be fine. Everyone that plays it say it aged well, but most of the people I watch play that game has beaten that game several times too. So we'll just see how things go. I am trying to stay away from the more grindy RPGs, but if I do need to grind that game, then I'll do that. It's not a big deal. I just want to be able to experience that game. But
Yeah.
what's? Oh, go ahead. I guess you're about to say something.
Well, I was just gonna say it's definitely worth the playthrough at least once. I remember I was playing it on the Wii Virtual Console, and it was amazing that it was ever released on there. And I hope that it comes to the Switch NSO soon enough. But I eventually got stuck at I think the Sky area, which you'll know when you get there, because yeah, of course you'll know when you get there. But yeah, I didn't grind well enough, so the game required me to go back and grind, and I wasn't in the mood, so I just kind of quit there. But let me see. Another game I want to try to beat is Freedom Planet. Like, and you think me being a somewhat Sonic fan who's slowly kind of falling out of it because it's taken too long. You think I would have played it and beat it by now, but I just haven't taken the time yet. But I mainly want to do that for when Freedom Planet 2 comes out.
I'll say Freedom. I'm thinking of going through a replay through myself. I played Freedom Planet, but I feel like I kind of like rushed through it when I beat it, and so I didn't really get to immerse myself in it as much as I probably should have. I don't know what was going on during that time, but I do remember. I think I streamed that game too, actually, when I played it. But it's like, I don't know. I just didn't. I liked it. It just kind of just went straight over my head. I guess it's weird, but yeah, the game is really good though. I think you're gonna like it, especially going with the open mind. I think that maybe that game came out during the time where, like, I guess I was kind of like burnt out on Sonic, maybe, and Sonic stuff. So maybe playing that game was just kind of like, That may be why potentially, but again, I think you're gonna like it. And I'm also looking forward to the next game. I was gonna say also, as far as your Sonic love or whatever, not love, but your fandom, I guess your fan craze deteriorating over time type of thing. I think that for me, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of doing the same for me after a little bit. But I've been watching I've been watching so many retrospectives on like Sonic games and seeing like other people's perspectives on it. And I watched a freaking almost 2-hour long video about understanding the music in Sonic and like just the back ends of it and stuff I didn't even know. It made me really appreciate the music in Sonic, which then made me appreciate the games even more too. So now I've been in this supreme Sonic craze again, and I watched a podcast, I watched a retrospective about Sonic Unleashed, which is a game I never really got to play and beat. So I've even went back and hooked up my Sega Genesis Mini and been playing Sonic 2 like for the past couple days actually again, just on the side. Like, I don't know, I've been like in Sonic Generations too. I've been in a super Sonic craze recently.
Wait, that retrospective, was that the Jay's review or something like that? Yes. Yeah, I saw that the other day too.
Dude, he made Sonic Unleashed look so incredible. It's like the way he talked about it, like I could feel how much he loved that game. You know what I mean? And it was just like, and I already knew Sonic Unleashed was kind of slept on, and a lot more people have been talking good about that game anyway. Like, that game's been getting like a surge of like, this game's actually a lot better than people thought it was type of thing. Whereas Sonic Colors is getting the opposite end of it now. But I was gonna say that I really want to play Sonic Unleashed sometime myself, actually. So, but anyways, that all of that was my reply to Freedom Planet. Did you have another one you wanted to do too?
Let me see. There's quite a. I know, like, there's a couple of RPGs. So, like, both Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy 12, and Fire Emblem Three Houses. And I don't even know where to start with either of those. They're just pretty much like, I bought those games. I need to justify the purchase by actually hitting the credits on at least a few of them.
Yeah, I feel that. RPGs are like the toughest things when you have backlogs, dude. Especially when you're trying to balance so many games at once, because RPGs are kind of a freaking commitment. Because the RPG that I have on my list is actually Star Ocean. Now, I'm not trying to take away from your list here, but I'm mentioning that I also have You know, aside from Mario Luigi Superstar Saga, which is a little more straightforward, and Mario RPG, I do want to beat Star Ocean at some point, but that is an older RPG from like the PlayStation era. So with that being in mind, grinding is extremely important in that game as well. And I'm stuck in whatever the hell I'm trying to do, and no guide or anything has been able to help me whatsoever. So it's been I actually had to put that game down. It's been like almost a year since I played that game. And the game was kicking my ass at the same time where I was. So all of that together just was like, yeah, I'm putting this game.
You know what's gonna happen now, right? When you return back to it.
I'm like, what was I doing? What am I fighting for? Literally.
And then like, oh crap, I guess I gotta restart the entire game.
I'm probably not gonna do that. But Star Ocean is one of those cryptic ass games that like, where, okay, so I'm gonna keep it short. Basically, depending on how you reply to things in the game and how you interact will determine the path you go down in the game. So like, for instance, you saying yes or no to a simple question could F you over in getting a really good character early on in the game. And in some cases, characters in general, I found out. So later, so that really sucks.
Like, hey, I want to go to the bar later? No. You just missed out on the most powerful character in the entire game.
Yeah, you could have had Sephiroth as a secret character in your party. I'm like, oh, come on, dude. But yeah, freaking, yeah. I'll come back to Star Ocean someday. I actually have Chaos Code on my list as another RPG. That might be the next one I play. Like, I might play that in tandem with Mario Superstar Saga, since like the Superstar Saga is fairly straightforward. So I feel like I could probably beat that game. That game's gonna be, it's not gonna take as much commitment, I'm thinking, to beat. Whereas Chaos Code is a pretty big game. So I'm in hearing a lot of good praise about that game from Super J. Shout outs to him. So I'm looking forward to playing that next.
Yeah,
Crosscode, not Chaos Code. Sorry, Crosscode. Thank you, Leo. I'm glad you corrected me before this ended up getting. Hey man, I could have been talking about Chaos Code too. You know what I mean? I might want to play that fucking game and kick some ass. You know, we fucks with anime fighters around here.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, hey, isn't that a fighting game?
Yeah, Leo said otherwise we gonna run a set. Nah, fam, you good. I mean, I'll play you in that game. I'm not scared. But but yeah, I was talking about Crosscode, sorry.
Yeah, it's like, isn't that like an indie RPG, or is it developed by a AAA company?
I want to say it's indie, but I'm not sure. But I'll definitely say that it has a lot of references from other games such as Sonic, Mario, and a bunch of other stuff in it. It has a lot of references in it, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's indie. But yeah. Because the game's basically about a girl. It's like one of those things like Dot Hack where you're like playing a game about a person playing a game kind of thing. It's one of those, but it's like so immersive you can't even tell. Because when I was watching Super J play it, because it's like a pixelated kind of game, sort of, not super pixelated, but it looks like, it's like 32-bit, I guess. So it looks kind of like Link to the Past ish, kind of like graphically, I guess you could say, or if I can compare it to something.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. Yeah, I mean, oh man, like you just said, RPGs can be like a mile and a half to walk, so hopefully you can find the time to play it and have a good time and not fall out of it.
I'll find out. If it keeps me, so the thing for me with RPGs that can kind of keep me hooked is if the story is really good, for one. That's very important. And the combat system is very, very fun. And the game isn't too cryptic as far as like how to get around. Because the way I get at RPGs is when I get stuck. Like if I get kind of stuck, and it's not even like, okay, if it's something like the game's just hard and I gotta grind, I'm actually okay with that. More so than like the story's just so damn cryptic that I gotta like, I don't want to have to think too hard, I guess is probably the problem. Like, or like when it's some shit where it's like they expect you to have remembered something from like 10 hours ago in your gameplay. Like I was supposed to remember that one mustache guy mentioned a barrel in front of a door. So like now they're talking about I need to get inside a cave, but there's like this mysterious round object blocking it. And I'm like, what the hell are you guys talking about? It's a damn barrel or something. I was supposed to have remembered something like that. Like if that kind of shit comes up, that really, if it takes where I have to get to a guide to do something, that's probably not a good sign for me. When I was younger, I had more patience for that, but as an adult, not so much.
Yeah, I can understand that. And it is funny about the whole like in hindsight kind of thing, because usually in the more comedic RPGs, they do that thing like when they throw a random quiz at you, like it's time to play a special quiz, and if you get an answer wrong, you will die.
You will die. Your whole family will burn.
And then we're in chapter 50. The question is, in the prologue, what color was the barmaid's dress? Was it A, red, B, dark red, C, light red?
Was it A, red, B, red, or C, red? Yeah, nah, but and all of them are wrong. But like I was gonna say that they did that in Donkey Kong Country, actually, funny enough.
Oh jeez.
With Swanky, but wasn't required. But and they were actually kind of fun. You just had to spend your coins and shit. But what was another game on your list?
Let me see. I know I mentioned 3 RPGs. Hollow Knight. Always heard good things about it. The Metroidvania bug game.
Put that on my list too, because I need to beat that game too. God damn it.
It was supposedly developed by like 3 people, and they're still working on whatever that it's whatever was supposed to be DLC then turned sequel. Silk Song, I think.
I don't know.
Okay. See, and like after I said, I was like, in my mind, I was thinking, like, why am I even asking him? But like, I didn't want to say it out loud because, like, man, that sounds disrespectful.
No, it's not. I completely understand it. I'm a complete nutter. No, I'm joking. But nah, but I do need to beat Hollow Knight as well. I played it for like a couple minutes, like 2 years ago, and then I got bored, and then I feel like I need to go back and play that game. I think I have a better appreciation for it now. I'm more. Despite what I said earlier about not having the patience to do certain things, I think I have more patience to play that game than I did back.
And I think you'll be in for a good time. I think you'll have to warn people watching your stream, if you're going to stream it, that like, hey, don't spoil too much. Because a lot of the fun of those kind of games, obviously, is the discovery.
Oh, man. That's the annoying part about playing like RPG-like games. Or like, I guess, games like that. You see, the thing is this, and that's the weird thing about streaming those games or like playing those type of games and with like, you know, having people watch you, is that people, okay, the fun of it is that people get to experience the game through you, whether they played the game before or they didn't play the game before. So like, it's interesting for the people that play the game because they want to see what it's like for a newcomer to play the game. And then it's also good for people that never seen the game before because they can experience the game and didn't get to play through you as well. Here's the problem. Sometimes it can be kind of unimmersive when you're playing the game, and then the people that has played the game before are like literally trying their best not to backseat you and spoil. So they do subliminal things such as, and I've already kind of low-key bitched about this in my stream already, but things such as, you're gonna love this part coming up, or oh man, you might want to be careful because this next part is gonna be a doozy. Like, I don't want to know that. I want to find out when I do it. You know what I mean? It ruins the suspense. It ruins the enjoyment for me. If before I even get to the part to be excited, you're telling me I'm gonna be excited. So now I'm prepping myself. You know what I mean? Like, if imagine watching a movie and like in every major point of like the end game, like Marvel Endgame, somebody's like, oh, you're gonna like this part where Thanos is about to do something cool. Pay attention. Like, what? I didn't know Thanos was about to show up. You know what I mean? Like, why are you saying this? Like, chill. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like, I feel like sometimes that's kind of stuck and ruined. Or you may not want to do that because something really tough is gonna come up later. Like, don't tell me that. Let me get my ass kicked. Let me find out. You know what I mean? Like, I guess that is the big thing there. But then you don't want to be an asshole too. You want people to be, it's weird, man. It's so weird. Like, it's because you want everyone to be able to look at and experience the game. You know what I mean? But it's more so like, let the person play the game. I mean, if they need help. But my chat for the most part is pretty good with that. Like, nobody's been too obnoxious. The people that have been obnoxious, I have eradicated them from my chat. So I've already weeded those people out, and I will continue to do that if I'm playing a game and they're pushing the, you know, my I guess not boundaries. They're stepping past the boundaries I want them to. You know what I mean? Then I will definitely erase them from existence within my stream.
Send them to the shadow realm.
I will definitely banish their ass with a quickness. So Milty said people come in and talk reckless on Hollow Knight. I streamed it about a year ago, and any randoms just come in and give random tips. Randoms, and then give mad tips. So like, and again, I understand because people don't want you. So I think a lot of people do that because they don't want you to get lost and get irritated, because I think people want you to appreciate the game, right? So they don't want you to sit and watch you struggle and then get pissed off and not like the game. So they give you tips so you can get through the game easier, because it's more like it's kind of like how parents give us tips on things in life so we don't have to suffer. Like, I suffered through this, so I'm gonna give you tips so you can get through it. And sometimes it's an ego thing for some people too. But and you know, I get it, but like, let me ask for it. You know what I mean? Like just let me get to a point where I'm stuck. Let me try to figure the game out. Because for me, the fun of watching someone play a game and, you know, that I haven't played is watching them struggle. So I can see like, okay, how long is it gonna take for this person to get past this wall that I hit? Will they get through it faster than I did, or will it take them forever? Like when Milk Tea was playing Kingdom Hearts, me and Sonic Master was in the chat. Like, I watched him I watched him fight Ansem for like 2 hours. You know what I mean? And like, I give tips if he asks, but I wasn't just like, you have to dodge the beam, you have to float under him, you have to slash him. Like, I didn't say nothing like that. You know what I mean? It was more like, haha, I remember that shit kicking my ass too. Or if he mentioned something about potions, I'll be like, yeah, I tried to use those things too, but I did this. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. Not just in the middle of your fight, I'm like, no, you're doing this wrong. You need to do this, that, and that. Like, don't do that. You know what I mean? Let the person, I like watching that content. That's why it was fun watching Milk Tea play Kingdom Hearts 1, a Chain of Memories, and Kingdom Hearts 2, because I was like, I want to see how many times it's going to take him to beat these things, because I got my ass kicked too. Someone say how long he's going to get his ass kicked. You know what I mean? It's fun. Funny like that. But anyways, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent. Sorry, guys. I went on a long tangent about that. But that is really annoying, and kind of what keeps me from wanting to play RPG sometimes on like stream. But it's a me thing. Some people don't care, but I care. But anyways, sorry.
That's fair though. Because like, I would say also that if people wind up spoiling too much for you during the stream, it also robs other viewers of, what does it rob them of? It robs other viewers of your genuine reaction. So like, it's not just screwing you over, it's also screwing over other viewers too.
Yeah, man. Beat Rox's third try, by the way, cap. Oh, you said, can't imagine not being able to see the 553rd shade of red different from the 786th. Oh my gosh. Anyways.
R.I.P. Good colorblind players.
Good colorblind players. Beat Rox's third try, by the way. I think that's cap, but if you did, you're a good guy. I mean, I beat him. It didn't take me too long to beat him either. I did cheese him, and I got really lucky. So, but yeah. But at any rate, I guess the next game on my list is Dark Souls 3. Leo did buy that game for me. That needs to actually be the next game I play. Actually, especially after I beat. I might play all three of those games at once. I think I might play Crosscode, Dark Souls 3, Mario Superstar Saga. I may play all three of them. Or I may just like cipher between those three. But yeah, that's the next game on my list. I know I was even talking to you about playing. I think I've been talking about almost every stream I need to play that game. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Get my ass kicked so everyone can laugh and have fun. Yeah, and I can enjoy Dark Souls.
I will say, I think, going back to that rant a little bit, because there are some games where it does make sense where tips do help to save time, trouble, and headache. And out of all the games, I think Dark Souls and obviously Monster Hunter are two good games where tips do help, because like One thing that is often worn in Dark Souls is that you want to like level up your character properly because it's not all automatic. That you level them up by spending souls that you collect by defeating bad guys or enemies, and the way you level them up is also the way you kind of like quote unquote build your character. And while they do allow like reset options, if you didn't build them that well, like it costs a lot of souls to reset them. So it's like, you know, kind of make sure that you know what path you're on from the beginning as far as character building. Like if you want a melee knight, then like make sure you put a lot of more towards dexterity, strength, so on and so forth. If you want like a pyromancer or a magician, then put more towards, you know, the magic based elements and stuff.
Well, okay.
So
Well, I'll say this: is that stuff not illustrated in the game? Because did you have to have someone tell you all that?
I struggled a whole lot more because no one told me about it the first 3 times I bounced off of it.
No, I was just curious as to how well the game illustrates those kind of things. Because I don't like when games makes things cryptic like that.
Well, I mean, oh boy, Dark Souls somehow walks the fine line of being cryptic, more so in its storyline than anything else.
Yeah.
But like, it is a lot of figure it out yourself, and it's very much like these numbers are important. Like, if your super strong sword is saying you need like 19 in dexterity, and then like you've been leveling up like your magic the entire time, it's going to be more expensive to level up your dexterity because you've been spending more time leveling up your magic.
That makes sense. That's kind of like, I'm not gonna say basic, but that's like standard in most games where you have to have a build. I've had to go through that in MMOs a lot. Me and Sonic Master has played a lot of MMOs, and I've had to go through that where I had a mage, and my first introduction to this was in Latel, sorry. I don't want to get somebody's gonna be like, it's not pronounced Latel. It's okay, Latel, whatever. The game, that game was not necessarily cryptic, but it was hard as hell in its base game or whatever when it first came out. Very hard. And I remember that because a lot of shit was hard to kill. Your shit had to be right, like your gear, stats, everything, or you were going to die in probably like 2 hits in that. And I remember I made a mage because I was younger. I was like in high school, didn't know how to do builds or nothing. I made a mage and then gave it fucking like fighting knuckles. Like I gave him like, yes, I had a monk. I gave him a monk build. He had a monk build as a mage, basically. So I put like a little bit of shit into like magic power and then gave him like boxing gloves or whatever, or like the brass knuckles, so I could do. So I tried to make basically a fighting mage, basically where I could fight and shoot magic. And I remember in the first area of that game, I walked past this dude and he looked OD because he had all this glowing shit on him and stuff, and he was like, bro, come here. Like, huh? You're not gonna make it through this game. I remember telling me that. I was like, why? He's like, bro, your stats are trash. And I got really mad. Of course I got mad. I was like, what the hell? Who are you talking to? He's like, bro, your stats are trash. You have a mage. Your base class is a mage, and you have a monk build. What are you thinking? You're going to die. Because you're not, first of all, you're a mage, so your strength is automatically trash. It's going to be trash. So even if you're trying to go for you're not going to be able to output the damage you need in a physical sense. And then your magic's going to be trash now because you've been putting all your shit into like the monk shit. So like, or in physical attributes, which isn't necessary for your class. So all that aside, I went through the game, of course in the heat this morning, and I got my ass kicked, just like he said. Then tried to switch back to mage and just focus on that. And like you said, spent too much cash on all that other shit that it took forever to try to make it all up, because getting a skill reset costs too much money. So I paid for it, just like you said. I had to spend a lot of cash to get and grind to get where I wanted to get, and eventually I just had to quit that character and just make a whole new character, basically. And I made a physical class like I should have. So yeah, but anyways, that long story apart, I'm basically letting you know I understand that part. At least I had to go through that struggle. But thank you for telling me that ahead of time, so I won't get screwed. And I will be coming to you and Leo and anybody else. And tips will be very, very helpful, so I don't get bodied as much. I will definitely leave the no backseating tag off that game. So,
And on the other end of things too is that like despite that level of strictness, and I'm glad you do know about that, is that like it is still a game designed where there's no wrong build to take and no wrong weapon to go through. So like if you find yourself enjoying a particular weapon and you want to continue through the rest of the game with that one weapon, there is no shame in doing that. It may make your adventure easier or harder along the way, but you know the options are what people love Dark Souls for.
I got options.
Yeah, just like Monster Hunter, essentially.
That's true. I'm gonna play Monster Hunter. Anyways, that aside, you got a game you want to beat?
Let me see what else I got on my list. A couple of them. Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
How do we have the same games on our list? I need to put that on mine too. Hold on. Ori. Because I just bought both those games. Well, I just bought Ori. Well, I bought Ori 2 first on accident. And then, which it was like, it's almost like how I got my earrings. Like I got the earring on the wrong side, so I had to get both. So like I ended up getting the second game first. So I ended up having to get the first game so I could play through, in order. But yeah, same here.
But again, it's the same thing. I've like heard good things about this game. It looks like a very solid platformer. It's cool that it was brought over to other systems so that like you have a chance to play it elsewhere, especially if you weren't going to buy that system to begin with.
Wait, is it on the Switch?
Yeah, it's on the Switch. Both
Nani?
Yeah, they brought them I think like last year and the year before.
Oh shit, I got it on my PC. I mean, that's cool.
PC is not a bad place to play, and apparently they did a decent job making it run on the Switch. So,
I mean, but if I could have had it on Switch, that would have been cool though, for that type of game. But I guess I get to enjoy it 60 FPS or whatever, if that even matters. But anyways, yeah.
And what? Oh, sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, that's it. I was about to say Ori and the Blind Forest, cool game. But what you about to say?
If we jump into another game. That Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. The turn-based strategy RPG.
Haven't played that game either yet.
It's apparently like pretty cheap these days. Like you can get it for $20 if not less.
Really?
And it goes on sale frequently.
All right. Put that on my list too then.
It was the game that like no one expected to be good because everyone hated Rabbids, and rightfully so, because it killed Rayman for a little while and then killed Rayman again. And then one more time for luck. But
for time's the charm, bro.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous how like well received it wound up being, and like it was apparently so good they even made a Donkey Kong DLC for it. So now you're adventuring with Donkey Kong with the rabbits and stuff, and yeah, it's just like in most RPGs, it's about trying to take the time or finding the time / interest to play it.
That's factual, man.
Word.
I need to beat Sonic Battle. I think I'm gonna put that on my list. I never actually beat that game. I played through it, but I never like beat it. So, wait, yes I did, cause I got Chaos. Yeah, I did beat that game. I'm capping. Never mind. Yeah, because I remember getting Chaos at the end. Cause you can't get him unless you beat the game. But anyways, I'm talking about Sonic Battle Game Boy Advance, by the way, guys, for context. Wow, you named some good ones that I need to go and beat too. I think that's pretty much it for my list, aside from Mega Man ZX. I never really beat that game yet. I got burnt out because I went through Mega Man 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I was like, done. Tired of this. But so
that's what Capcom said back in 2010.
Oh no. You can't say things like that. Stop it. Need to be stopped. But I don't think there's anything else on my list that I can I do want to play through Paper Mario. I never beat Paper Mario. The first one. I made it like halfway as a kid, and then I got stuck and then stopped playing it. So I did get to the end. I did beat Thousand Year Door. But I hadn't beaten that game. I do want to beat 64. Cause I think a lot of people saying Paper Mario 64 is like actually better than Thousand Year Door looking back. So I want to experience it myself so I can have my own experience. I think I'm gonna play that and then Thousand Year Door. I'll see. We'll see which one's a better game. And then eventually I'll play Origami King.
Oh yeah, man. I think you will be in a good time for Origami King, but it keeps getting a bad rap because gamers can never be wrong.
Really? Because I heard that like people like that game. That game got really, really good reviews.
Yeah, it got better reception than like other previous I don't say Monster Hunter, Mario, Paper Mario games. But one of the things that like is a constant complaint is like, man, I just can't stand that circle puzzle system, and it's like you're weak. Also, yeah, you don't need to do every single circle puzzle system, but like, I still wind up hearing a lot more negative than it really deserves. But that's just my opinion. Everyone has a right to their own opinion. But doubling back to Mario,
not when I'm talking about something. It's my opinion is the only one that matters.
Oh yeah, that's true. But doubling back to Paper Mario 64, essentially. I think one of the harder issues is when dealing with that game is the same thing with like Mario RPG, where the animation and like the polish, it's a polished game, undeniably. But like I feel like Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door steps it up so much that it's the kind of thing that makes it hard to go back. It's kind of like trying to play the original Super Mario Brothers when you got like all these remakes, essentially. Like where you don't have a high bounce when you're jumping on a Goomba in the original Super Mario Brothers. And like, it feels like there's so many quality of life missing. Like you can't go backwards sometimes. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. That meant you said as long as Paper Mario isn't the same as it was 17 years ago, which isn't probably wrong, and that hurts to hear that. But actually, it's not wrong at all. I played Paper Mario 64 when I was like 7 or something. So yeah, and it's been over that time. It's been like over 20 years now. God damn. But anyways, yeah, people are just mad because it's not the same game. But I am slightly more open-minded. I tried Sticker Star. I really did. I played through like half the game and I was like, yeah, I don't like this game. I just stopped playing. But I gave it a try. I wasn't just like, I'm not getting this game because it's different. Though to be fair, I don't think a lot of us was really sure we were about to get ourselves into. I was like, oh wow, portable Paper Mario. I do think Sticker Star should get a little less flack because it's a portable game. You know what I mean? It's like our first Paper Mario portable. They wanted to make the game a little more streamlined. I get it. At least it was still a RPG game at its core. It was just weird. Like, I think that maybe Sticker Star should get a little less flack due to it being the way it was. Now, Color Splash is a different thing. But I've heard people say Color Splash had a much better story than like all the games. They say that Color Splash had like the best story of like all of them, story-wise. But playstyle-wise is like a whole nother topic. But Sticker Star is, I think I would not mind going back and playing Sticker Star now that I'm not as salty as I was about what they were doing Paper Mario, and I am now through the denial phase, through the anger phase, and I'm now in the acceptance phase of things. I may actually give that game another round. So.
All right, so to be fair, I would say Sticker Star is generally forgettable. Like, I think your time would be better spent playing Color Splash, and I didn't even play Color Splash. I would say play Super Paper Mario than Sticker Star. Like, it's not
Super Paper Mario actually looks pretty dope. I want to play that game, like, for real. Because I went back and watched a retrospective on that. I've been marathoning The Completionist. So I really wouldn't mind playing that one. Sorry for cutting you off. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. But just that, like, if you have a backlog of Paper Mario games to play, I would honestly say put Sticker Star on the bottom of your list as someone who beat Sticker Star and didn't think it was a terrible game, but it was unfortunately forgettable in my opinion.
I can see that. Like I said, I think a lot of it again was due to them wanting to do something different, but at the same time make a game that was, you know how some games get kind of like super, I guess, milked down when it comes to them becoming a portable series. Like Paper Mario may have that game in particular may have been streamlined a little too much But like I said, I kind of get what they were trying to do. But you said, I think people didn't like Sticker Star because of the sticker system. I actually liked it because of that. So yeah, the sticker system to me was kind of lame. But again, I think that people got to look on two different sides of things when it comes to those Paper Mario games. I feel like too many people on the side of you are too defensive of these new games. Like I guess you can say too defensive, but I feel like, okay, I'm trying to see how to word this. I don't want to say not say the wrong thing, but I don't want to be interpreted incorrectly. So I feel like I feel like both sides are too aggressive to me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like I feel like the nostalgic fans who played the old games are way too aggressive as far as like, the game is not the same as it was before, so this automatically trash. And I feel like the other side is too defensive, where it's like, well, our games are really good, you're just so fucking nostalgic. If you say anything bad about my game, about these new Paper Mario games, you're just an old lame who can't, let go of your way. Like, I think both sides need to calm the hell down and need to see from the perspective of both sides. As a guy that grew up playing Paper Mario in its original form, I feel like there should be an understanding that was a humongous departure from what we were used to playing. It was so odd. It's almost like, imagine you grew up playing Pokemon the way it was, and you're playing Pokemon, and like instead of instead of playing Pokemon the way you're used to now, your Pokemon are like cards, and you throw one out at a time, and their moves are limited now to how many cards you throw out. Like, it's such a huge departure that it's just weird. You know what I mean? It's really, I feel like both sides should have an open mind to think. And yes, people who are on the other end of like the newer Paper Mario, well, I am the one with the open mind, but you're not, because you're nostalgic for your new Paper Mario game. So you're very defensive about it because that is the game you're nostalgic for. So, but I feel like there should be, again, some sympathy for the older fans that want Paper Mario in its original form, I think. So that is my take on that, honestly. There needs to just be some type of there needs to be a truce. Damn it. So
yeah, I think what would help is if the developers of Paper Mario, which is usually Intelligent System, which oddly enough are the same people who do the Fire Emblem games, and what they used to do was Advance Wars, but if they could occasionally, I'm trying to think, how Nintendo and other companies tend to release multiple versions. Like, you got 2D Sonic and 3D Sonic. Give us a traditional Paper Mario from time to time, and then give us the wacky, trying something different Paper Mario this time. Especially since we may or may not have any more Mario and Luigi's for a good while moving forward.
I agree. They kept Mario Luigi pretty much the same. The hugest departure they took with that game was them removing the Bros system and just doing the Bros items, which I didn't like, but I got used to it after a while. But that was probably that was a bigger offender to me than anything. But yeah, because those Bros moves were awesome.
If anything, with Mario and Luigi, that kind of shows that if you kind of stick to the same path the entire time, because what happened was that it felt like the games got longer, but the stories became less interesting.
That's true.
And then the gameplay mechanics were more or less the same. You may have had new enemies that did some slightly different things, but it was always make sure you dodge with Mario, make sure you dodge with Luigi, or attack with Mario and attack with Luigi. So it started to become too stale, because there was I think a total of 6 Mario and Luigi games.
Yeah,
you got Superstar Saga, Partners in Time, Bowser's Inside Story, Dream Team, the Paper Jam, and there was one more. I thought maybe it was 5, but yeah, that was it was 3. It was too many, in my opinion.
Yeah,
without trying something different.
Sorry, I was gonna say, yeah, it's actually the same issue that Mega Man Battle Network went through, where for that a lot of people mentioned, and even the classic series, but definitely Battle Network, where those games can get a little samey after a while. So they definitely try to change things up with Battle Network 5 with the Liberation mission, which people didn't like. I actually went back and played through it again. They're actually not that bad, honestly, and they're actually pretty easy. They're not that bad. like when I was younger, it seemed very overwhelming because I hadn't really played strategy RPGs like that aside from Fire Emblem. But now that I have other Fire Emblem games under my belt and I've actually played other strategy RPGs, playing that Liberation mission was just like, wow, this is actually really easy by comparison. So it actually wasn't too bad, honestly. But it is a bit of a departure, especially with it being required throughout the game. But again, you only fight like 4 bosses in that. So out of like the 8 or whatever you got to fight in the game. But that game was a big departure from, well, not big, but that was an example of them changing things. But like you said, the base core of the game was still the same. Wasn't too bad. Yeah, Brad.
Yeah, Brad. But for those who keep wondering why we keep saying yeah, Brad, there was an old, well, yeah, it's kind of old at this point. There was an old Disney XD show called Kick Buttowski, and the main character had a and I think it was like the subtitle was like Suburban Daredevil or something like that. But the main character had like an older brother named Brad, and like he is very much that bully big brother, egotistical. So like every time he feels like he did something cool, he'll say like, "Yeah, Brad."
Yeah, Brad. Yeah, he'll just come up and freaking steal your cat and be like, "Yeah, Brad," and he'll just like walk off.
Or girls are swooning over him, even if it's just in his dreams. Like, goes like, "Yeah, Brad." So, in case you're wondering about context, that's what we're joking about. That's where our meme comes from.
I it ended up being a meme within me and my friend Amp. Shout out to him, because he started doing that first. And then I was like, what the, him and my little sister, when I was visiting home, I was like, why you guys keep saying yeah, Brad? They're like, oh, you haven't watched it yet. So I started watching it with them, and I was like, I see. This guy is very hilarious.
Yeah, it's the funny thing about the show is that like it very much feels like that 2000s like Flash animated style. Although I think it was made in Toon Boom, but it's far from cheap. It's actually really well animated, but it very much has that like 2000s feeling of like, we figured out these shortcuts and we're going to use them to the best we can to make a really good cartoon. But you know, that's just the trend of cartoons these days.
But guys, I guess we'll go ahead and start wrapping things up because we're hitting over an hour now, and I'm out of stuff to talk about. At least I don't know about you.
Maybe we could do like a part 2 of Backlogs a little bit later when we clear some of our current games, because I still have a list that, like, you know, at this point I'd just be saying at this moment I would just be saying you know, the names of games.
Yeah, Brad. Yeah, dang it. Yeah, but I was gonna say that thank you guys for tuning in. You can follow me at SG_Loxus on YouTube if you're looking at this live, or you can subscribe to me on there. Lox_TV for Twitch. Twitter is SG_Loxus. Everything's SG_Loxus except for Twitch. Follow me on those. DTFO.
You can find me at DTFO on Twitter. And that's all, I think.
That's all, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you very much for tuning into our podcast. Well, damn it, I can't do accents. We were talking about this last night. I wanted to get better at doing accents, and I suck at them. But guys, tonight, if you're watching this live, I will be streaming tonight on YouTube at around 8 o'clock, like sometime between 7 and 8 o'clock. I'm going to be streaming over on YouTube, either Fall Guys or Mario Maker. Depends on, you know, what my friends are doing. I'm looking for my friends, Riku and Kairi. But yeah, I'm going to be playing either one of those games tonight. Tune in. If not, then I will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.